So I wanted to make a video about my coming out story. I'm a gay dude. Always have been. Always will be. It's just how Mother Nature made me. Um, when I was a little kid, you obviously don't know what the hell that even means. There's not a whole lot of things to relate it to. You just know that you like Sports Illustrated and the International Male catalog and maybe some of your friends. But long story short, I came out when I was 15 to enough people to get the point across, and I feel like they were in denial of what I had just said to them and didn't know how to take it and didn't know what to do with it and ignored it. And I don't know. If somebody asked me after that, I was like, yeah, I am. I'm gay. I'm a gay dude. And then they would make a funny comment, like I was making a funny comment. No, I'm actually a gay dude. And, high school came and went. And after that, I didn't have time to sit there and explain to somebody. So it just was what it was. Until further notice, that's how it was the rest of my life. And you'd meet new people and you have to bring it up again. Usually it wasn't a big deal. Sometimes people would be really surprised and have questions and everything, but I think the gay community itself, I don't call it the LGBT plus QR725874567 blah community. I just call it the gay community because that's all it is, and that's all that matters is the gay community. And I think that the gay community had more questions for me than the straight community, unless there was somebody younger or older that just probably just didn't even need to know it. And when they found out, they just had questions. But I could be at an actual gay function and people would ask me if I was gay. People would, really? Why would I be at a gay pride parade if I wasn't gay? I'm not that bored. I don't need the attention that bad. Not that I'm anything to look at, but I'm just saying, why? I did a mentoring program with a local nonprofit that helps with scholarship money and mentoring and counseling, and they did fostering programs and things like that for gay youth, and would hold dances for them and all that stuff. So I chaperoned dances and, volunteered and at the Pride Center and did a mentoring training. And even at that, where clearly somebody that would be at that function would be a gay person. And they even asked me if I was gay there. So I was like, you know what? I don't care. So there's like a point in my 20s where I was getting ready for another run in pro wrestling. I've been approached by a couple people to do, an angry white guy gimmick in an all minority casted or booked pro wrestling tour. So I had gotten in really good shape. I'd gotten down to about 190. And I looked good. I thought I looked good. Probably the best I've ever looked. And, I would go out to nightclubs and stuff like that, and nobody would approach me. It was like, God, it's a funny thing because this usually doesn't happen, but I got approached more at gay functions when I was fat than I did when I was 190 and kind of, chiseled, And I that was kind of a lonely period because I was just hooking up with guys off the internet instead of dating like I had been, going on dates, I should say, and getting to know somebody. It was just random hookups, which I was like, I don't want to do this. So it was like nobody wanted me anyway, so I just stopped working out. Fuck. And when I was in LA, it was like I hung out in West Hollywood a couple times. And it was like, okay, I did it. West Hollywood. It's like Chelsea. It's like, okay, you did it. Great. There's bars that are far more interesting than the bars you're going to find in West Hollywood or Chelsea outside of West Hollywood or Chelsea. I can tell you that much right now. And there was one bar in particular in North Hollywood called the Cobra Club or Club Cobra or something. And it was a Spanish gay bar. Mainly Spanish guys went there. And there was a bartender there, and we'd start chatting. And I'm looking at him. He's wearing low cut sweatpants and a tight Abercrombie shirt and a kind of a designer like army hat kind of thing. I'm looking at him like, God, this guy's not 25, man. This guy's like 60. And he was older. He was like in his 50s. And that was to me the LA problem. That to me was the gay problem, that a lot of gay guys don't know when their time has come and gone. The ones that maybe at one point in time were, the belle of the ball, and their 30s came and that was about it. They had nothing else to offer. They weren't rich. They weren't good people. They didn't have a good personality. They weren't fun. Literally all they had was looks and maybe a big Johnson, and that's great, but older rich men and younger good looking guys that they don't want that. It's like these guys you see on OnlyFans and all that stuff. Man, you look amazing at 30, 29, and 28. You're all built up and tattooed, and you're doing all this porn and everything. Where do you think that's going, man? I mean, I hope you're making millions of dollars on OnlyFans. I hope so, because come 35, 40, what are you going to have left? You're not a good person. You're not employable. Like no older man is going to no older man with a lot of money and self-respect is going to look at that and be like, yeah, I want a 40-year-old that I can drag around that has no, promise or no job or no. I mean, he's got neck tattoos, so that's cool. I mean, when I was younger, the big thing, and this is just the thing that I used to say because if I felt it was true, that the fantasy that every gay guy under the age of 30 has is that there's such a thing called a trillionaire underwear model with a 13-inch penis that is somehow going to take care of them the rest of their lives and sweep them off their feet, and that's the dream. A trillionaire underwear model with a 13-inch penis. And he never shows up. And what does show up is loneliness and a lot of substance abuse, mental health problems, poverty, suicide, sadness, because of the unrealistic expectation that gay guys not only have on themselves, but for what they're looking for in a significant other. And the underwear models that I've known, quasi, that have 13-inch penises are broke, are poorer than I am, and was in my was in my 20s, and all the millionaires and billionaires that I've known have been over the age of 60. And sure as hell weren't fucking rocking underwear, weren't being underwear models. So, I mean, you know, I met T Boone Pickens and he was like 85 years old. I met Vince McMahon and he was 60. You know, and they didn't have boy toys, believe me. They could if they wanted to. That's the thing. Like, if I become a millionaire or billionaire in the next 20 years, right? I'm 40 now. I become a millionaire or billionaire in the next 20 years. I'm not looking at the OnlyFans model that's 35 years old with the neck tats and the muscles and all that shit. Hey, I'm just being honest with you. I'm looking for an 18 to 21-year-old, natural build, dumber than paint, that I can throw some money at, put him in the car, have my driver take him home. That's what I'm looking for. I would never in a million years wife up a 40-year-old if I'm a 55-year-old billionaire or millionaire, especially one that doesn't realize his time has come and gone and hasn't aged gracefully like the jackass at the bar in North Hollywood, or these other idiots that I've known that have roided themselves out and tatted themselves out and, pimped themselves out on OnlyFans for $100 a night. I don't know. I've just been more realistic about, like, my life anyway. I've been alone my whole life. I don't mind being alone. I've never had anybody to live with me. I don't want anybody to live with me. I do things a certain way. I'm not necessarily somebody that has a high sex drive or needs to be attended to all the time, and I'm not necessarily that lonely. I've thought about marriage. I don't think I want kids, but I'm not against somebody that has kids from when they were straight. I have a lot of work to do before I would ever be open to that. I spent 25 years as a starving artist. I'm 41 and I'm still starving. I haven't made my money yet. I haven't made my fortune yet, and hopefully I will someday. I'm banking on it, and once that happens, we can talk about significant others and all that stuff. But right now, I'm just a gay dude. I'm just a gay comedian and character actor and sometimes pro wrestling manager and sometimes glassblower and sometimes yelling and screaming about politics on the internet and trying to find my way. And I'm pretty good with that by myself. And straight people have a really hard time with that. A lot of gay people have a really hard with that. A lot of have a hard time with that too. I'm open to it. Just not something I'm really looking for. I'm good by myself.